a silver-haired old lady with a honk if you love Jesus sticker on the bumper of her car.
Doug Pagitt Radio on AM 950. It's almost 11 o'clock because it's 10:50 here on AM 950, 10:50 in the morning. I have a little segment at the end of each hour, one that I call Cripes. Come on, you got to be kidding me. And the end of the second hour are right on, things that are right in the world. Because in the first hour, we like to remind ourselves that sometimes there's things in this world that are not the way they're supposed to be. Some things that just make you say cripes and come on and you got to be kidding me. Let's do something about it. And then there's things in this world that are the way they are supposed to be. And we have choices to make in this world we live in. Do we want to be those who tolerate and put up with and live through only the cripes that come on? You got to be kidding me? Or do we want to be those who make the world the way we want them? So our hope for this show, hope for life, actually, is that we make the world the way we'd like to see it. So I come up with 3, and I'll tell you today I had about 6 of them. I had so many, I was ranking them, I was pulling them back and forth, I was starting with one and then finishing with another. I mean, I was all over the place. So here they are, the top 3 that I came up with that fit the criteria of cripes. Come on, you got to be kidding me. This one here comes out of a little news story that I saw in the Star Tribune newspaper, but it's about a couple of kids in Bellport, New York. Now, let me set this one up. When I was a kid, we used to go by the little pond by my house over there in Golden Valley off of Yosemite Circle, and we would fish, but we weren't fishing just to catch the fish, Grover. We'd catch these perch sometimes. We'd catch these sunnies. Then what we'd do is we would put the fish that we caught onto a stringer that keeps them alive in the water, but the little stringer goes through their gills, right? So they just sit there in the water. Then we would put treble hooks, these little 3-way hooks, you know, like you catch for the big daredevils. We'd put those treble hooks in the side of the fish on the stringer in the water. You know why we did that?
To catch bigger fish?
To catch turtles. Because what would happen is the snapping turtles would see these fish stuck on the stringer, and they'd come up and eat them right off of there on the side of the shore. So we wanted to catch the turtles. Now, I don't know what we were going to do with the turtle. It was just the goal to try to catch the biggest, baddest, meanest snapping turtle. If you've ever seen these turtles, they're unbelievable, right? They hiss at you. They snap with their mouths. And when you're a 9 or 10 or 12-year-old kid, your thought is that these things are like prehistoric monsters, right? They're huge to you. Well, so I read this story today in the paper, and it makes me say, we used to just catch them. Then you know what we'd do sometimes? We'd turn them upside down, and we just let them sit there upside down.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, you know. I didn't turn into a serial killer or anything. Then we'd go back later and we'd tip them back over and we'd let them go. Well, not these kids in Bellport, New York. They get the cripes today. As a guy who, you know, gets the whole snapping turtle thing, listen to this. 2 New York teens, now 18-year-old teens, should know this. 2 New York teens have been charged with setting a turtle on fire and stabbing it with a pole until it died. Setting a turtle on fire. In all of the darkness of my teenage years, it never dawned on me to throw the thing into a fire pit like these clowns and start on fire. Well, the Suffolk County police arrested one suspect Friday and a second suspect on Saturday, both 18, and charged him with animal cruelty and third-degree criminal trespass. Police say the teens found a 12-pound snapping turtle. That's huge. On the side of a Bellport road on May 22nd. They didn't even catch him the old-fashioned way, the way we did. They didn't even have to hunt him themselves with their bare hands like a man who's trying to live for his survival. They placed it in a backyard fire pit. They doused it with gasoline and set it afire, and then they stabbed it through its shell with a metal pole. Cripes. I mean, seriously. Gentlemen, if I had your addresses right now, I'd send you one of these cripe certificates that you earned from Doug Pagitt Radio. That's just downright ridiculous. All right. My, come on, happened to me this morning. I was picking up some gas in my teenage son's car that I had to borrow. And I always had to put gas in the thing. You know, kid can't even put some gas in for me to drive his car around. So I get this gas, and I'm over there at the gas station. And the gas station by my house on France Avenue, they like to put these pithy little statements up on their sign, right? They're like a church that gives these little happy statements on there. So they put these little, you know, like sentence and a half, 2-sentence long, cheer you up kind of statements. Here it is. A cloudy day is no match for a sunny disposition. Come on. A cloudy day is no match for a sunny disposition. Wow. And it's been a cloudy day for a couple of days, and I'm standing there pumping the gas, looking over at that thing, and I said, come on. What does it have to do with anything? Cloudy day is no match for a sunny disposition. Cripes, guys, in New York, you don't treat animals like that, any kind of animal like that. It's horrible. Come on, people at the gas station. After 4 or 5 days of rain and cloudy in like the middle of June, a cloudy day is no match for a sunny disposition. Sometimes pithy little statements are supposed to perk people up. They make people like me a little bit less sunny. You know what I'm saying?
What?
Made me growl. Made me just be like, what do you know?
Come on, Doug. Where's your sunny disposition?
I think I don't have one. I think that's why I don't get those kinds of things. All right, and here's the you got to be kidding me. The you got to be kidding me today goes to Abby Sunderland. You know who that is? Abby Sunderland is that dear little girl, the 16-year-old girl who was trying to take her boat all the way around the world, the youngest person to ever sail all the way around the world. Well, she started in January, and things went really bad out in the Indian Ocean, and they had to come pick her up. And she doesn't get the you got to be kidding me. You know who gets the you got to be kidding me? Listen to this little story. A French ship had to slide out there in the ocean and pick her up. And they brought her aboard after what officials called a delicate operation to get her out of her boat and into theirs, during which the fishing boat captain fell into the ocean. The fishing boat captain was trying to get her out of her boat, fell into the ocean. You got to be kidding me. Here's who really gets the you got to be kidding me on this one. It's not her. It's not the fishing boat captain. It's me, because about 12, 15 years ago, I was in the Boundary Waters with a group of people. I was running the trip. We were on this little island, and there were too many of us on the island. So a game warden pulls up in his boat, his canoe. He paddles up in his little canoe, and he comes up and he says, hey, you people, you got too many people on this island. You got to get off. Who's in charge of this group? And I said, I am. He says, why don't you come over here and talk to me in my boat? So I walk over, and I go to step into his canoe, and I step on the left side. So he steps to the right. He slides to the right. Then I step over to the right, and I flip the boat with the game warden in it into the water.
You showed him.
He comes up out of the water and says, 12 years I've worked in the Boundary Waters, and never once have I been in the water. His bag dumped out, the whole thing. Wrote me a $150 ticket for having too many people on the island. So, to the captain of that boat, and to the guy in the game warden up in the Boundary Waters, brought it all back. I thought, you gotta be kidding me, which I think is pretty much what I said as I'm in the water. So, they go to help this poor 16-year-old girl, and the captain of the fishing boat ends up in the ocean where he himself had to be rescued out of the water. You got to be kidding me. A cloudy day is no match for a sunny disposition. Come on. Killing a turtle? Cripes. Sometimes there's things in this world that are not the way they're supposed to be. Turtle killers. All the rest. Hey, we'll be back here with these authors of this book, The Invisible Gorilla, here on Doug Pagitt Radio. You're going to want to stick around for this. It's going to be a fantastic conversation on AM 950, The Voice of Minnesota.
And over in either